Penguin Random House Canada presents The Wolves of Eternity, a novel by Karl Ove Knausgaard, translated from the Norwegian by Martin Aitken, read for you by Edoardo Ballerini, with Vas Eli, Gilli Messer, and Natasha Soudek. For Mikal. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. For the former things are passed away.
Helge. I've just been listening to the Status Quo album rocking all over the world. I'm still shaking. I played it non-stop when it first came out. That was in 1977, and I was 11 years old. I hadn't listened to it since. Not until now when, sitting bored in the office, I began wandering along some pathways back into the past. A band that reminded me of another band, and then another, on the screen in front of me. The cover alone sent a tingle down my spine. The image of the world, shining in the darkest firmament, the band name in electric lettering, and the album title underneath in computer script. Wow. But it didn't really knock me out until I pressed play and started listening. I remembered all the songs. It was as if the melodies and riffs hidden in my subconscious came welling up to reconnect with their origins, their parents, those old status quo songs to which they belonged. But it wasn't only that. With them came shoals of memories, a teeming swath of tastes, smells, visions, occurrences, moods, atmospheres, whatever. My emotions couldn't handle so much information all at once. The only thing I could do was sit there trembling for 3/4 of an hour as the album played. I had it on cassette. No one I knew owned a record player back then, apart from my sister, who only ever listened to classical and jazz anyway. And I played it all the time on the black cassette player I'd got for Christmas the year before. It ran on batteries, and I used to take it outside with me nearly everywhere I went. Invariably, I sang along too. How brilliant to hear the album again now. Status Quo, Slade, Mud, Gary Glitter, they were the bands we listened to. Those a bit older than us added in Rory Gallagher, Thin Lizzy, Queen, and Rainbow. Then everything appended, at least it did for me, and all of a sudden it was Sham 69, The Clash, The Police, The Specials, nothing else would do. But they're bands I've kept listening to on and off. That's never been the case with Status Quo. That's why it hit me the way it did, like an explosion. And it's why suddenly I cried when I heard the chorus of the title song. It wasn't as if there was much good happening that year, 1977, certainly not in my own life. It was more the feeling that something was happening, and not least that something existed. That I existed, and that I was there. In my room, for example. Yes, the smell of the electric heater. The music on the cassette player, not too loud because Dad was home, but loud enough for the feelings to pervade me. The snow outside, the smell of it when it was wet, as much rain as snow. And I like it, I like it, I like it. I la like it, la like it. Hilde opening the door. There's a girl hanging around outside, do you know her? I stepped over to the living room window. Sure enough, a girl was traipsing up and down the road out there on the other side of the fence. She stopped and looked up at the house. She couldn't see me, but still. And then she started again, disappearing from view behind the bushes, reappearing back and forth, following the line of the fence. Do you know her then, or what? Said Hilde. Yes, I said. It's Trude. She's in the same year as me at school. So what's she doing here? I shrugged. Following me around, maybe? Ha, said Hilda. You're only 11, you know. I've had loads of girlfriends, I said. Kissed them on the cheek, have you? I've snogged a few. Go out to her, then. I shook my head. Why not? Are you seeing someone else? She's a bit special. Not right in the head? No, not like that. Just different. Sounds all right to me. That's because you're special yourself, I said, and looked at her. She lit up when I said it. Not right in the head, I mean, I added. Then the doorbell rang. It's Trude, Hilda said. Aren't you going to go? Can you do me a favor and say I'm not in? What's it worth? Something. Half your sweets on Saturday? Okay. I stood behind the stairs and heard Hilda say I wasn't in, and that she didn't know where I was. I could see Trude trudge off home through the snow. I don't know if that was exactly how it was. I remember seeing her, and I remember having to give Hilda a load of my sweets for lying for me. But the thing I remember best is the snow, the feeling of snow, the atmosphere of it. It was foggy, too. Soft white snow, gray fog, and rocking all over the world. Is there ever a memory that isn't affirmative? Of course not. A person consists of memories that can only ever be affirmative. They're what that person is. But one of my memories stands apart in a way. One that isn't connected with anything else. It was something I saw. And it was that winter, a few weeks before Christmas, 1977. But I can remember it without the help of any music. It's a memory that shimmers, ungraspable inside me. Across the road from our house, woods sloped away towards a narrow inlet of the sea. On this side was our housing estate. If you followed the road down to the junction and took a right there, you came to a low bridge that spanned the inlet. There were some pontoons below the bridge, and a bit further away was the strait. That night, I went down the road on my own. It was dark and still foggy. The snow had partly melted during the day. The road was covered in slush. I don't know where I was going or where I'd been. All that's been erased from my mind. Maybe I was going down to the pontoons to see if there was anyone there. It was a place where we often used to hang out. Whatever. Dark, foggy, the slushy road, anorak gleaming in the road lighting, across the bridge, the water black and cold. But what was that? Something shining down there. Deep down in the black water, something was shining. A few seconds passed before I realized what it was. It was a car. I saw then that a curbstone was gone. There were wheel marks that went to the edge. It must have just happened if the headlights were still working. I turned round and ran back up the road. I had to get to a phone and call an ambulance. But when I got to the houses, I wasn't sure anymore. It didn't have to be a car. It could have been something else. I might have been about to set a massive rescue operation in motion for nothing. What was Dad going to say then? I came to our house and went in, took off my coat and my boots. Dad poked his head out of his office as soon as he heard me. Where have you been? Up to the new shop, I said. Tea's on the table, he said. And straight to bed afterwards. Okay, I said. I did what I was told, ate the sandwiches he'd made, then went to bed. Lay for a long while in the dark, thinking about the headlights in the water, the car in the water, its headlights shining as I lay there. The next day there was an ambulance, a police car, and a crane truck down there. The day after that, it was on the front page of the newspaper.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?